Praxis 5713 Phonemic Awareness versus Phonics Preparation Quiz. Question 1. A 7th grade teacher wants to assess her students' ability to analyze an author's use of figurative language. She provides them with a poem and asks them to write an essay identifying examples of metaphor and simile and explaining their effect on the poem's meaning. Which of the following components would be most important to include in a scoring rubric for this assignment to ensure it aligns with the instructional goal? Is it? Option A. A section awarding points based on the total number of words in the essay to encourage thorough writing. B. A criterion for correctly identifying and labeling at least 2 examples of metaphor and 2 examples of simile in the poem. C. A criterion for correctly using commas and periods, as grammar is always important in writing. Or D. A criterion for the student's personal opinion on whether they liked the poem to measure engagement. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. An effective scoring rubric for this specific assignment must align directly with the learning objective, which is to analyze an author's use of figurative language. The most fundamental step in that analysis is the accurate identification of the literary devices themselves. Therefore, the rubric must include a criterion that measures this basic skill. Option A, word count, does not measure analysis and can encourage verbosity over quality. Option C, while important for writing in general, is not the primary goal of this particular assessment. It would be a separate criterion for conventions in a holistic rubric. Option D measures personal reaction, not analytical skill. Remember, we can take your Praxis 5713 exam for you, remotely and undetected, with pass % score guaranteed. Message us via the number in the bio. Question 2. A 2nd grade student is reading a story and encounters the word unhappy. She says, "I know one means not, and I know happy, so it must mean not happy." This student is demonstrating the ability to use, is it? Option A. Context clues from the surrounding sentences. B. Her knowledge of phonics to decode the word sound by sound. C. Her understanding of morphology, or the meaningful parts of words, prefixes and root words. Or D. Her sight word vocabulary, as she has memorized the word unhappy. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Morphology is the study of the structure of words, including prefixes, suffixes, and root words. The student in this example is using her knowledge of the prefix un dash, meaning not, and the base word happy to determine the meaning of the unfamiliar word. This is a sophisticated vocabulary strategy that goes beyond phonics. Option A would involve looking at other words in the sentence. Option B describes decoding, which would allow her to say the word but not necessarily understand its meaning. Option D is incorrect because she is not recognizing it by sight. She is actively analyzing its parts. Question 3. A 2nd grade teacher is planning a lesson on the different purposes of text. She selects a variety of books for a text set, including a storybook about a bear, a non-fiction book with photographs and facts about real bears, and a procedural text on how to draw a bear. Which of the following graphic organizers would be most effective for students to use as they explore these texts? Is it? Option A. A Venn diagram with 3 circles for students to compare and contrast the bears in the different books. B. A T-chart with 1 column labeled facts I learned and another labeled questions I have. C. A simple 3-column chart with the headers entertains me, informs me, and tells me how to do something, where students can place the title of each book and explain their reasoning. Or D. A KWL chart to be filled out before, during, and after reading all the books. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. The stated objective of the lesson is to teach students about the different purposes of text, to entertain, to inform, and to persuade or provide instruction. A graphic organizer that asks students to categorize each book based on its purpose directly aligns with this objective. By placing the book titles in the columns and explaining their reasoning, students are actively applying the new concepts. Option A, a Venn diagram, is excellent for comparing and contrasting content, but the purpose of this lesson is not to compare the facts about bears, but to compare the purpose of the texts. Option B is a general comprehension tool that could be used with any informational text, but it does not target the specific skill of identifying author's purpose. Option D, a KWL chart, is a great tool for activating prior knowledge and tracking learning, but it does not focus on the comparative analysis of text purpose. Question 4. A fourth grade teacher is curating a classroom library. Which of the following principles should guide her selections to best support the development of lifelong readers? Is it? Option A. The library should contain only books at or slightly above grade level to ensure students are constantly challenged. B. The library should contain a wide variety of genres, reading levels, and topics to appeal to diverse interests and abilities, including magazines, graphic novels, and student-authored work. C. The library should be organized strictly by reading level, and students should only be allowed to choose books from their assigned level. Or D. The library should primarily consist of classic works of children's literature that have stood the test of time. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. A key factor in developing lifelong readers is providing students with choice and access to a wide range of reading materials that reflect their interests and identities. A diverse classroom library with books at various levels, genres, and formats, including magazines and graphic novels, ensures that every student can find something they want to read, which is the most powerful motivator for building reading stamina and a positive reading identity. Option A would frustrate and discourage struggling readers and bore advanced ones. Option C, rigid leveling, removes student choice and can be stigmatizing. Option D, while including classics, is too narrow and may not reflect the interests and backgrounds of all students. Question 5. A student is struggling to understand the difference between facts and opinions. The teacher creates an anchor chart with the class defining each term. Then, the teacher reads a series of statements aloud and has students hold up a green card if it's a fact and a red card if it's an opinion. This quick, whole class activity is an example of, is it? Option A. A summative assessment used for a final grade. B. A diagnostic assessment to identify students with learning disabilities. C. A formative assessment used to check for understanding and provide immediate feedback. Or D. A norm-referenced assessment to compare students to their peers. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. This activity, often called thumbs up/thumbs down or using response cards, is a classic example of a formative assessment. Its purpose is to provide the teacher with immediate, real-time feedback on the whole class's level of understanding. This allows the teacher to see if the concept has been grasped or if further instruction is needed. It is low stakes, quick, and entirely for the purpose of informing instruction. Option A is incorrect because it is not for a grade. Option B is incorrect because it is not a formal diagnostic tool. Option D is incorrect because it does not compare students to a norm group. How many did you score out of 5? Let us know in the comments below. Also, tell us which exam we should cover next. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more.